touching my marshmallow.
All right.
Hot. Hey, welcome to our Thursday night tasting flight. We're so glad you're joining us. Thank you so much for coming in. I hope you have some wine in front of you. I'm sure you've already opened some wine. You're enjoying some of the wine. I hope you opened these bottles probably about 45 minutes ago. If you haven't, open them now. Open them
right away.
Open them. They need to breathe a little bit, okay? My name is Phil Ogilvie. This
David
is
Ogilvie.
my handsome twin brother, David. And we're with Silt Wine Company. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us week after week. This is, I think, our 6th or 7th show, and we're having so much fun. Today, we are going to talk about our Bonfire Flight. So much fun. The Bonfire Flight, rave reviews already.
How many people have a bonfire in front of them right now? I want to see some pictures.
Know. I am engaging on social media as we go. Hopefully I can, connect with you as quick as possible. I know there's a little bit of delay, but I want to see your photos. Post those pictures on social media. Post the pictures on Instagram, Facebook. If you're on TikTok, which we are not yet.
What?
Have you heard of TikTok? Dude, there are freaking adults on TikTok now. It's happening. I think there's a movement.
Yeah.
There's a movement.
My oldest is only 8.
So
She doesn't have any of that stuff yet.
So anyway, moving on. Engage with us. Have some fun.
What happens if they're on TikTok?
I'm not sure how the TikTok works.
All right, go ahead.
Have some fun. Toast on TikTok. If you don't have the flight in front of you, that is fine. Enjoy with us. We have a show. We have a couple awesome segments that we have. He's teasing here. And then David has a plethora of knowledge and is just very interesting. You're so interesting. You're the interesting twin.
Okay.
I'm going to start calling you the interesting twin.
All right.
And with the interesting hat. He's got a really good hat, too. Anyway, let's move on. The how to participate, the tasting notes. David's got them right here. Download those tasting notes from our website.
Got stuff on the back, too.
If you don't have them yet, go ahead and grab those. Engage. Ask questions. We are live. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I can't freaking get on Facebook. Somebody help me over here. Ethan, Alex, somebody help me with, I can't get on that. Yeah, there, we're live.
Live show.
Live show. So I need to get on Facebook so I can engage with you. If you're on Facebook, share this live video. That helps us so much. Facebook loves to see that engagement, loves to see this video getting more attention. And so when you do that, that helps. As I said, coined last week, sharing is caring.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
Thank you very much for your help. Hi all of you guys. Wow, we've got a ton of viewers
Where's
already.
everyone from?
I want to know where everybody is from.
Where's the farthest you're coming from?
Let's share that. We got to give some shout-outs, though.
Shout-outs,
I know
sure.
some people are watching from my fun state of Tejas, Texas. Nathan and Rachel Seal, cheers. Love to see you guys. Thank you for buying the flight. Mundo and Kim, thank you guys. In Houston, thank you guys for purchasing a flight. And Mundo purchased a flight for some friends of his, sent it that way. Thank you guys very much.
I want to say thank you to Larry and Venus for joining us every week. Thank you guys.
Every week.
You guys are awesome. And I know every week you have a good time, and you always point out what I said wrong. Which is nothing.
Nothing. I've never seen that comment. Larry, you get funnier the longer the video is. I don't know why. Your comments get funnier and funnier.
Look up Larry Whitted's comments in the feed, and
that's great.
He's a riot.
And then I got to give a shout out to Thad and Lori. I noticed that you guys made a purchase today for today's flight. Cheers, all the way in North Carolina.
All right.
I miss Thad's got this thick North Carolina accent. I mean, I can go full Thad, and he talks like this, and he gets excited about everything, and he just has this southern drawl that is sweet as a bell.
Oh my
right,
gosh.
Thad?
Thad, please comment on how horrible that was.
That was Thad. He inspires me every day.
All right.
Any other shout-outs?
Yeah, I want to give a shout-out to Laura and Mike Schnack. They consistently every week are buying flights, and we really appreciate it. Last week, or during the reclamation flight, they sent them out to their other family as well. That was really appreciated. Also, the Seabecks, local here in Clarksburg.
Did Mike make it home?
Janelle, please let us know if Mike made it home from work.
Hope Mike made it home.
Hope Mike, you better have gotten home.
Dude, don't
gotta
mess this
make
up.
Janelle happy.
This is date night.
Yes, and then of course Son and Jacob Longest, they're with us every week, and we really appreciate everything they do. And follow Son's cooking show. It's just a great show. So and then also Tammy Crop. Shannon, just want to make sure I mentioned Tammy. Thanks for purchasing.
Did we mention our favorite nurse?
Oh,
our favorite
nurse is
Linda Nash. Never missed an episode.
Nurse
Cheers,
Linda, thank you for
Linda.
everything you're doing.
And then, you know what? These videos, last week's video, reached 30,000 views on Facebook. I haven't checked the most up-to-date one, but 30,000 views. You guys are watching. You're sharing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for helping us all have fun together. And as I always say, sharing is caring. And when you share, you're participating in our mission to help people enjoy Clarksburg as much as we do. So kudos to you. We've got our first wine in the hands here.
Yes.
It's our cab.
I hope everyone has the Cabernet Sauvignon in their glass. This cab was grown right here in Clarksburg. We haven't had a cab until this year. This was bottled on December 5th. Of 2019, and we only released it in, I think it was February, maybe early March, right before the tasting room closed, and it quickly became one of the best sellers. So I think in the first couple weeks it outsold the Pinot Noir, which was the previous bestseller. So they say cab is king, but really we want to show what Cabernet can do in Clarksburg.
Oh yeah.
And on this, you're gonna see that the color, you kind of have just a little bit of that brick kind of red color to it. It's not like some of the other ones we're gonna get to, and you get just a hint of that mintiness on the nose, kind of some crushed herbs, fresh herbs, and I get definitely kind of this rhubarb raspberry thing going on from the fruit standpoint. So,
David,
what do you guys think?
Yeah, give us your tasting notes. That's a great question.
Oh man, I
Tasty.
I love this wine.
You know, I like it. Everybody loves a good Napa Cab every once in a while. Yeah. And especially if you can afford it. Mm-hmm. And but this is a lighter style cab.
Yes.
Right. Tell me, is that terroir driven? Is that like what makes Clarksburg? What does Clarksburg do for?
I would say this is more terroir driven. So yeah, as my brother said, this is a lighter style cab compared to what you're going to find in Napa. And a lot of that comes down to kind of microclimate, the soils we have here. We do get these cool breezes in the evening, the Delta breeze as we call it, and that cools everything down, helps preserve the acidity, but we get some warm days. So that warmth ripens the wine and we'll get those right flavors, but we just don't have, and it also softens the tannins a bit more. So you'll find that Clarksburg cabs generally don't have the big punch in the face tannin that Napa cabs would have, and bigger body. Napa has, cabs that have a lot more body, I would say. So there's a time and place for every wine. I really like this cab, and I would say that it's more French-like, Bordeaux-like. The cabs that are, if you buy a Bordeaux, that's more cab-based Bordeaux, it's going to be much lighter in style compared to other California cabs or Napa cabs. So we're kind of leaning more in that direction.
I got some good tasting notes here, and I think they're nailing it. I've got a couple people, Ruben, and I think it's Castellet, mentioning chocolate notes.
Definitely.
I'm getting that. And then Jeremy White, dude, cheers to Jeremy.
Chef Jeremy.
Always on and enjoying the show. He's mentioning Morello cherries. I've never had a Morello cherry. I think, is that like a
Morello?
Is that like a maraschino cherry?
You're gonna have to tell us what the difference between Morello cherry
Jeremy,
and maraschino cherry.
But
definitely, I definitely pick up this kind of cherry note, but not like that. Not that super dark ripe cherry. I'm thinking more of this kind of higher acid, bright red cherry. But
okay, I love it. Loving it. Whoa, wait a minute. We got someone from Mexico City right now.
What?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Buenos dias. Buenos noches.
Yeah.
Buenos noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas tardes.
Viva
I don't
la
know what the
Mexico.
time. I don't know what the time zone is over there, but
Actually,
hey,
it's probably like 4 o'clock.
Is it 4 o'clock over
They're
there?
behind us, I think.
You tell us. You tell us. Where? Luisa Vega.
Or ahead of us, you're right. Yeah.
Ahead of
It's
us.
like 6, 7.
Yeah. Okay. And we got Carrie Burt, staff member. Cheers, buddy.
Hey,
Miss
Carrie.
You. I miss you.
We
And
miss
your
you very
beautiful
much.
hair. I mean, you got that hair going. And newly married. Got married here. He's mentioning Olive.
Yeah.
And he always. We got to get Carrie talking more about the food pairings too.
Yeah.
Carrie does amazing shit.
Carrie, before
Cheers.
I say it, what would you pair this with?
Ooh, there we go. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, I just got a note here. Lots of compliments on your hat.
Well, thank you.
I like it
Thank
too.
you.
I actually asked someone, I was like, can you please wear your hat? I just love your hat.
You know, it's like 86 degrees today, and we're in the barn, and it's a little warm. I thought, well, for my brother, I'll wear the hat.
Yes. Oh, that's true brotherly love right there.
Cheers. All right, so what else, are we going to move on here?
You've got some more notes on Cab, don't you?
Not really. What do y'all think of it? You like it? I like it. We can talk about, I mean, I could say, it's 14.2% alcohol. The pH is 3.6. There's definitely some Cab out there that pH jumps up.
What is
gets
pH?
a little higher.
What does pH mean?
It's a measure of acidity.
Okay.
But 3.6 is not like, to compare it to a crisp white like Chenin Blanc. Chenin Blanc would be 3.3, even maybe in the 3.2s. This is 3.6. You know, you'll get really ripe when you get to that 4.0 pH. And then TA is 5.5 grams per liter. So that's on the low side. So this is, and TA will drop as you get into warmer climates.
Help me out. What's TA mean?
Titratable acidity.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, everybody
It's an
knows
acid.
that.
It's an acid
Okay.
acid measurement. Sorry.
Hey, Carrie shouted back. He's saying beef Wellington is like a
heck
favorite.
yeah.
Dude, come
A
on.
little bit of that I totally get it, because when I think of beef Wellington, I think of that. Like I put in my notes, Carrie. I put.
Let me guess. Lamb.
I did put lamb. I love lamb.
Dude, he loves lamb.
And then
Watch
and
the
then,
last 2 episodes. He pairs the wine with lamb.
And then, but red meat. But what I like about Carrie's comment is in a beef Wellington, when you have that crust on the outside, that dough just would pair well with this too.
Oh.
And then I also put,
Getting hungry.
you know, with as light as this wine is, I mean, it's not crazy light. It's not Pinot Noir, but because it's a little lighter style on the Cab, I wouldn't mind pairing this with pasta and with a tomato-based sauce. So the acids can play upon each other. And then that fresh basil, I always use fresh basil in my pasta. I think basil would really accentuate the nose on this, or work well with the nose. And then even a roasted chicken, if you want to go something lighter, roasted chicken, put it on broil at the end, just to kind of crispy up that skin, and that just pairs well with this. And then as far as cheeses go for those harder cheeses. I mean, I think that would those hard cheeses that kind of maybe crumble a little bit, a little saltiness to them, will really go well with these wines.
Real quick, great question. Sarah Pauline on Instagram said, "Why is the bottle different than the other reds?"
Oh, that's a great question, Sarah. All
Cheers,
right,
Sarah.
So Cabernet
question of the
Sauvignon.
day so far.
That is a good question. So Cabernet Sauvignon is a Bordeaux variety, and this is a Bordeaux bottle. And the reason this is a Bordeaux bottle is because Bordeaux's tend to age a long time, and they tend to have a lot of tannin to them. And as wines age on their sides, you'll get this sediment on the bottom of the bottle. And then when you go and pour this wine, the sediment, let me make sure this cork is on good. This sediment will catch in the shoulder of the bottle. So that's why Bordeaux had this shaped bottle. So now, whether your wine's going to collect a lot of sediment or not, if it's a Cabernet Sauvignon, a Merlot, or a Malbec, a Petit Verdot, Carmenere, those Bordeaux varieties are going to have are most likely going to be in this shape bottle.
And they don't always.
And Cab
not
Franc
always
as well.
in that shape bottle, but
Not always.
most of the time they're going to be in that shape bottle.
And then one exception that we have is our Cab Franc, which just disclaimer, we do not have Cab Franc at the moment. We are sold out, but we are bottling some soon.
Ooh, yes.
Little teaser.
So,
Cab Franc is a Bordeaux variety, and you will find it in a bottle like this, but it's also a variety from the Chinon region that typically has a bottle like this. So our Cab Franc is in a bottle like this, and the Loire Valley Cab Franc is using a bottle this shape, and Loire is where Chenin Blanc comes from as well. So this bottle shape is usually designated for wines that have less tannin. Think Pinot Noir and other regions of France where you have wines with less tannin, and so you don't have that issue with all the sediment, and so sediment just kind of slips out, whatever is there. But that's the main reason for the Bordeaux bottle.
Sarah, great question. That was completely not in our notes. It's not on our plan to talk about bottles, but that was so informative. I mean, that's great content.
I'm getting low on my wine.
I'm getting low too. I think we need to. I think why don't you move just to your right a little bit? I think it's time for my favorite segment of the week, which is that's awesome, and I'm going to invite again the lovely Miss Shannon Ogilvie over.
Hello.
Now, I have to, let me introduce Shannon, because last week I didn't really introduce her. I just assumed everybody knew. But Shannon's our tasting room manager, extraordinaire. Hospitality, director of hospitality is a title on your voicemail. And I get that voicemail all the time. Anyway, I do too. Anyway, and Shannon's also my wife. And some people were asking, people were confusing. Like they're like, "What's going on?"
We can stand closer than others.
Stand closer because
fine. Too close.
Okay, too close right now. It's public PDA. But I will say, there is something interestingly different about your look today.
There is.
It's so. I mean, it's so catching. It's fetching, isn't it?
The day came, ladies and gentlemen, that the contact supply finally ran out.
COVID struggles. COVID-19
It's
struggles
real.
right there.
It's real. My contact supply is like lost in the universe of shipping right now.
Oh, man.
It's
We're
going to
waiting.
be glasses time for a little bit.
But you know what? You look very smashing.
No, I feel like shout out to all the people, and I know you, like I'm mentioning it to you in my head right now, like there's people that wear glasses really well, and shout out to you. You do it.
Okay.
You do it great.
Come on.
No
Give me a
baiting the
break.
question.
Give me a break. Hey,
Jealous.
well, I think you look wonderful.
Thank you.
Tonight.
Thank you.
Let's talk about
That's awesome.
What's awesome, but you've been sending wine all over the place, which is awesome.
We have.
Like we mentioned some people, like tell me about that, the shipping experience.
Yeah. It's been really great. We've been reaching places we haven't yet, so we've
How many
shipped,
states this week?
Let's
I think
see.
it was like 8 states, right?
So Texas was a huge one.
Cheers to
Rachel,
Texas.
serious. Rachel and Nathan Mundo. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. We shipped to Vermont. We shipped to Washington, to Oregon.
Awesome.
We went SoCal hard this week. Also, it was really cool.
great.
Thanks for SoCal. Yeah, we got.
That's great. That's fun. Well, you shared an awesome story with me earlier, and I was like, dude, we gotta talk about that. So fun.
There's something really awesome this week. It makes my heart happy.
Oh.
We have an anniversary.
An anniversary.
A surprise anniversary
Wait,
celebration.
A surprise
Yes.
anniversary.
Okay, so kudos to Ben and his wife Dana.
Ben raising the bar.
Happy anniversary,
Cheers
4
to
years.
this.
Happy
4
anniversary.
years.
Thank you for spending your time here with us tonight with this flight. You guys are all the way in Los Angeles, and we appreciate your support. We appreciate you guys doing your anniversary celebration with us. I know you had big plans, Ben. I know that you surprise her every year. I know you do something big. I know
Ben
you
is
wanted
the
to
man.
travel, and with everything COVID going on,
Couldn't do
we
the
are...
travel, huh?
We're so grateful that you chose to do this instead, and we hope that we're making your night special.
Wow.
Dana, I have to say, Ben has been keeping this a secret for quite a long time, and so
Good
great
job.
job, Ben.
Good
Super
job.
romantic. I love it, and we wish you the best. 4 years. Congratulations.
And every time my wife was telling me this story and talking about how
I
great
get so
Ben
happy.
was, she was all happy, and I felt, a little underwhelming. I'm sorry that I'm
Don't
not
be
Ben,
jealous.
but
Don't be jealous. But Ben,
cheers to Ben. Cheers
And
to
Dana,
Ben and
yes.
Dana. 4 years of marriage.
Yeah.
We're so excited for you guys. I hope you have a great evening. So,
Can I ask something really fast?
that's awesome.
It is awesome. That's awesome.
What?
But if you have something coming up in the next week, or as we continue to do these live tastings, will you email us? Will you shout out to us?
Yeah,
will you
let's
tell
celebrate
us what's
together.
going on so we can celebrate with you?
Right.
I'd love to. That'd be
That
great.
is so cool.
All
Well,
right.
cheers.
I'm going.
You know
I'm
what?
excited to hear about the wines.
I gotta say, this might be a little off the cuff, but I've got some friends out here. You know what? Ben and Dana, you didn't get to put your trip in. I want to meet you guys. If you ever make it up to Sacramento, well, I hope you do. You
They
got
have
to
to.
come to the tasting room. But when you come up here, as an anniversary gift, Shannon and I and Silt Wine Company, we're going to set you up in the nicest hotel in Sacramento. One of the nicest, I shouldn't say the nicest, one of the nicest hotels in Sacramento, the Sawyer. You can look it up. It's right at what we call DOCO, which is downtown, the downtown commons, right next to the Golden Wine Center. We're going to set you up with a room for an overnight. We'll give you a tour of Clarksburg, and you know our mission is to help people enjoy Clarksburg as much as we do, and it would just give us such joy to make sure that you guys enjoyed Clarksburg as an anniversary gift from Silt Wine Company. You know, we can't do that all the time. I know,
heart is
Shannon.
giving up here.
Look at that. I'm just, Ben, honestly, I'm just trying to one-up you right now. Anyway, no.
That's great.
Cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
And reach out to Shannon, Ben, and let's set that up. You know, when this is all put away, take that trip and celebrate 4 years of marriage. So
Cheers.
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Shannon. All right. Well, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
I think we should cheers to our next.
I drank 5 glasses of wine.
Well,
almost like that.
well, good. You're very ready to go then. So, reminder as David gives us another glass here of wine.
Oh man.
Just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, we do this every Thursday at 5. I'm hoping you have found us from somebody sharing this on their news feed. And my name is Phil Ogilvie. This is my handsome twin brother, David Ogilvie, the most interesting twin. And he is our winemaker. And we do this every Thursday at 5. And we'd love to have you participate, just buying the wines ahead of time. We do 1 cent shipping all over the nation. And we just get them to you and make sure we have a great time. So let's talk about the next wine, the Petite Sirah.
Petite Sirah, Clarksburg's favorite red.
Yes. We do
We're not
such a
talking-
good job of Petite.
Yes, Petite Sirah. So this Petite Sirah, you'll notice right away the dark color, purplish red garnet edges on the glass. This is a dark wine. This is a big wine. Petite Sirah is grown a lot in Clarksburg and a lot in California, and there's a whole history about that I should talk about maybe after.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about when we talk about the differences between this wine and our next wine. So, but you'll notice right away on the nose this big bouquet of fruit, this jammy fruit, and then a slight herbaceous note, not too heavy on the oak. We want to showcase that fruit.
We're farmers first, right?
Farmers first, showcasing that fruit. Don't worry, folks. Your enamel is still on your teeth. I swear to God. I swear to God, it's still there. But this can be an enamel stripper. Petite Sirah has a lot of tannin, a whole lot of tannin.
Man, that is powerful.
Yeah, it's a big wine. So it means that this wine is meant for aging. You can age this wine, but it's also difficult to control from a winemaking aspect, and that for that reason, it kind of fell out of favor in France. And I can't help but talk about the history of Petite Sirah, so I'm just going to do it.
Do it.
So Petite Sirah, there's nothing petite about it. Except for its berry size. So when you compare Petite Sirah to normal Syrah, it has smaller berries. So Petite Sirah berries, and that because it has smaller berries, it has a much larger skin to juice contact ratio, and that skin is where all the anthocyanins and the tannin are. Those anthocyanins and the tannin are where the antioxidants are. So when you're drinking Petite Sirah, you're improving heart health.
There we go.
Just so you know.
I mean,
It's
that's
one of
not. We're not marketing that
the- No, well,
because we're
why
not allowed to.
I mean, it's
a
we're not-
TTB rule.
okay.
We can't do that.
Oh, we
We're not
can't have-
marketing that.
It's not healthy to drink wine, but Petite Sirah might be the healthier choice. Anyway. Oops,
I totally threw David for a loop. That's great. I love it when I get my own brother speechless.
So, this wine was created in France in the 1860s.
Bab Sandine just said, "Keep the history lessons coming." So you're doing great.
Cool.
Keep it going.
So in the 1860s in France, there was a nurseryman named Francois Durif.
Oh.
And Francois, what a great name,
What a
right?
great name.
He was in Montpellier, and he was looking to create a grape variety that was less susceptible to a fungus called downy mildew. We don't have a whole lot of downy mildew in California, at least not in our area. We have powdery mildew, which is a little different, and Petite Sirah does get powdery mildew. But he was looking for a grape that can have less susceptibility to downy mildew, and he crossed Syrah with the very rare, almost extinct variety called Polorcin. And
say that again.
Polorcin.
Polorcin.
Something like that, yeah.
Polorcin.
Yeah. If you say it fast...
If you say it in French, it probably sounds awesome.
It probably sounds a whole lot different than what I just said. And if you say it fast, then no one questions
Then it sounds like you know what you're talking about.
Say it with authority, as they say.
Polorcin.
Oh, yeah. Polorcin. So apparently Polorcin had this great attribute that it wasn't susceptible to downy mildew. Anyway, he came up with this cross, thought it was great, sent it out to the French winemaking scene, and both Polorcin and Syrah are the parents. Both of those are Rhone varietals, and it came from that region. Anyway, they didn't like it. They said, "No, we don't like this wine. It's too tannic. There's too much tannin in here. It doesn't make good wine."
Gee, doesn't California love their tannin?
Yeah, Californians love tannin. So, anyway, this guy, Charles McIver, he went to France, and he was a grape grower in the Livermore Valley. I can't remember what it was. It was like the Mission District or something like that.
I think we're okay if you.
Yeah. Sorry for all this.
He's doing this without any notes right now. I'm pretty dang impressed.
So he goes to France and he says, "Hey, Francois," and this was in the 1880s. He's like, "Hey, I kind of like this variety that you got growing in the back. Let me take some cuttings." So he brings it over to. Oh, the other thing I forgot to say is Francois Durif, nurseryman. He creates this new variety. No one's ever had it before. He names it after himself, Durif.
I would totally do that. That's what I would do. I'd be like, yeah, this is called the Ogilvie.
You would you would totally do that.
I would totally do. Hey, you know what? I make cocktails every night, and I name them after myself. All of them. There's like 5 different versions of the Ogilvie gin.
Anyway, all right. So he gives this variety called Durif. He gives it to Charles McIver, and McIver brings it over to California and says, "Well, it's got these little berries. I'm going to call it Petite Sirah." And if you look in old historic notes, he actually spelled it Petite Syrah, Syrah. The same as this.
Really?
I have looked all over the place. I don't know where the I came from, because when you get Petite Sirah now, it's spelled Petite Sirah. If you ever see it on a wine menu with a Y, it's now pretty much incorrect, because TTB calls it Petite Sirah with an I. So
TTB is the governing authority over wine and how we
label
it
tells us what we can put on our labels. So if someone puts Petite Sirah with a Y on their label, it's not an actual wine according to a wine variety according to TTB. So anyway, that's kind of the brief history. The another interesting fact.
I love your interesting facts. Keep them coming.
So if you remember what I said, he farmed the Livermore Valley. Charles McIver did.
That's like is that hotter? Is that a hotter, cooler?
It's a warm area,
but similar to
Clarksburg. Very similar to Clarksburg. A lot of some hillsides, and it's a lot of microclimates, but they do get a nice, cool marine layer as Clarksburg also gets this delta breeze. So, but he farmed that area, and Concannon winery in Livermore was the first winery in 1964
remember
that
this stuff.
produced a varietally labeled. They bottled a wine and called it Petite Sirah, and they spelled it with an I, and they
Proof.
So they are the first ones to bottle, and that was 1964. It took from 1880 or 1884 when MacIver brought it over to 1964 till someone actually bottled it, and it was Concannon. And do you know what our grandfather? Excuse the fly. Our grandfather produced Petite Sirah for Concannon and sold it to them in 1970 something. 70,
so cool.
74, 76, something like that.
That is so cool.
And so we used to sell, our family used to sell Petite Sirah to Concannon Winery because all of a sudden they produced this wine, this red wine, Petite Sirah, and it was great.
Fruit forward, tons of tannin, which California loves, and they had this winning varietal when they needed more growers. And I mean, we planted in '70, and my grandfather.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
dude,
now
bringing it full circle. That is cool, man.
So now, oh man, this wine is good. So now, Petite Sirah in outside the United States and California, it's not grown very often. It is in Australia, and I used to work at a winery in Australia, and I traveled around and found Petite Sirah. But out there they call it Durif. Everywhere else they call it Durif.
Durif.
Or Durif.
And there is somebody, I think I've seen somebody try to resurrect that name. Mm-hmm. But why don't they call it Durif anymore?
Well, you can actually, TTB acknowledges that. They say you can call it Durif.
But this guy, I mean, and this is really kind of hitting home for me, you know, if like I try to make something with and call it the Ogilvie.
Yeah.
Why did Mr. Durif lose his name to Petite Sirah? Like when did that happen?
Because someone brought it to the New World
and said
I'm calling
this last name sucks.
So here's the other This
is not a fun wine label.
Well,
or
the
wine
thing
brand,
is, so
right?
worldwide
There's a marketer.
Okay,
stop.
The worldwide there is something like and this is a small, actually acreage-wise is a small number for a grape variety. There is less than 15,000 acres of Petite Sirah / Durif. In California, right now, the latest CDFA posting of acres of Petite Sirah grown in California, there's 12,000 acres. Wow. So there's less than 15,000 acres in the world of Petite Sirah, and in California we have 12,000 acres.
That is amazing.
So when
how
you
many
say,
acres do we grow?
And well, we grow about 200 acres, and in all of Clarksburg there is 1,200 acres. So there's
Is that
we're about 10% of the
we grow 12. Clarksburg grows 12%, or 10% of the Petite Sirah acres in California.
Yeah, this fly
loves Petite Sirah.
Yeah,
get out of here. They probably can't even see the fly. We just look like we're waving our hands.
We're waving our hands around. Anyway, so kind of interesting. The number, there's very few acres of Petite Sirah grown around the world, but California has the bulk of it, and so whatever California calls it is kind of what it's known by. That's kind of how it works.
As goes California, so goes the world.
Oh, I don't know. You might get some enemies out there. And what's your friend in North Carolina?
Texas.
Texas?
Yeah. Edit that out. Oh, it's live. Oh, my bad. All right. Hey, we need to move on. Man, cheers.
Well, we haven't even talked about the wine yet.
Hurry up.
Oh my
gosh. This is good stuff.
So my notes. So I got a lot of that intense berry, kind of like berry, some sort of a berry pie kind of thing. You get a little of that bread crust or the pie crust thing going on, but think like blackberry pie or boysenberry pie or cherry pie even. There's a bit, but it's like this dark fruit and a little bit of that spice thing going on.
I don't mean to troll you, but you mention pie all the time and pie crust.
I know.
You really like your pies.
I do.
You must eat a lot of pie.
Well, it's really when I think
what's the crust thing that happens in red wines?
So that's kind of this like yeast layer, this yeast character, this yeasty character that comes around in red wines when you age a wine in barrel and it's sitting on dead yeast cells. It picks up this yeasty character, and that and I actually do a lot of baking as well. I bake bread, and I've got a nice, good sourdough thing going on right now.
It's like the hipster thing right now.
And so I do think in these yeasty characters, and I'm a man of yeast. I like yeast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's. Do you want to do a quick wrap up here? A wrap up comment on the wine. I'm seeing all kinds of comments. We've got pairing with hard cheeses. Christy Jordan, I gotta say cheers to you. Another shout out. Christy Jordan, you are freaking hilarious. Like, you make the funniest comments, and she's been commenting. I think you've been a part of every flight that we've done. Cheers to you. And she says, keep the history lessons coming, and everybody. There's been a bunch of people commenting that they love the history. Do you love the history? If you love the history, share this live video right now. All right.
Yeah, I think I've talked Petite Sirah to death.
Oh, here's a good question from Ruben. Actually, I like this. So I have to mention it. Smaller berry. The smaller the berry, the sweeter the juice.
No, not at all. No.
What does the smaller berry do? That's a good question.
Well, we talked about that. Smaller berry means more tannin because the tannin is housed in the berry or in the skin. So if you take a red wine grape, any Petite Sirah, any red wine grape, and you squish that berry, the juice that comes out is white juice. You can make white wine out of red grapes. What gives the color to the wine is fermenting that juice on the skins of the berries. And so depending on the skins, you'll have a darker, it'll extract more pigment or less pigment. So Pinot Noir has very little, comparatively has less pigment in the skin, tannins and anthocyanins, and Petite Sirah has a whole lot. And so you're going to get a lot more color out of Petite Sirah.
Cool. Okay, we're going to move on, and we're going to do a real quick segment called Question of the Week, because this is actually super important. I need your help. Friends, followers, please help me with this. We want to name this show. And so my question is, what should we start calling this show? Because when we started, this was our quick response, and I, cheers to David and the rest of the team for helping us put this together. This is our quick response to, oh shoot, we got to be closed. And so we immediately thought, let's do wine tastings, live wine tastings. Well, as you can see, we've turned it into more of a show. We feel like that has a little more longevity to it, and honestly, it's a lot of fun. And
I'm having a good time.
I'm having a good time.
I like to keep it going.
I might be having too good a time. I might have enjoyed some wine before the show started, but what we need. Okay, what we need to do is get a legit name here. So we read every comment. David and I log in and we go on Facebook and Instagram. We read the comments. Please help us with this name. I've been working on it for like 2 weeks. I can't find a good name for it, and the reason is it's not just wine tasting. So, and then right now we've kind of been calling it the Thursday night tasting flight. But what if we wanted to move the day, and do it on a Wednesday? And, I know we keep seeing wine nerds show up. And
that might already be taken.
That might be taken, but, I'm going to try not to take offense to that, Christy Jordan. But, David is super awesome with that knowledge.
Own it.
I mean, he knows his stuff. And maybe we can put like an apostrophe behind the N and call it wine nerds, and then it's free rent. Anyway, going on. Yeah. Help us with a name. So start giving us some ideas there, and I don't know if we choose the name that you say, we're gonna like hook you up with something or something. I don't know. Like, don't do it for that. Do it to help us out. So, question of the week is, what should we start calling this show? Because we want to keep this going, even when we reopen. We want to keep this show going. So, thank you for moving us on, David. This next wine, just by way of transition, is really interesting. I think I've enjoyed this wine so much because I have not enjoyed Syrah for so long.
Yeah.
Like, it is a new wine to me, and I'm really loving it. I mean, this is a fantastic. Cheers to you. Yeah. Good job making this wine.
So when I was in college, I had this great wine tasting group, and not that I had it, but I was part of this group, and my go-to wine was Syrah, and it was a competition. Whoever you paid some money every week. I think it was like $5. Shout out to, if they ever watch, Josh Whitteman, Mike Waller. They're all fancy winemakers in Napa now, or Napa and Hollister. But we had this group and with some other guys, and you'd pay $5 to get in, and then if your wine won, you got your money back plus another $5. And when you're in college, and back then
you got your money back or all the money.
No, you didn't get all the money because you got a lot of the money. I can't remember. You got a lot of money, but then a big part of the money went into kitty. And at the end of the quarter, because we were on the quarter system at UC Davis, we'd buy a fancy bottle, $100, $200 bottle of wine, and incorporate it into our blind tasting. So it was a lot of fun.
All right, I'm just doing the math. Either you have a lot of people in that club, or you met like every week.
We met every week. And we had 8 to 10 people bringing a bag of wine, like not a bag of wine, a bagged wine, It was a blind tasting. It was a whole lot of fun. But Syrah was like my go-to wine because I won a couple times on Syrah, and there's so many great Syrahs in the. I was at Davis between '98 and 2002. Showing my age, your age too.
Thanks a lot. I don't know what you're saying. I'm only 32.
Yeah, but Syrah is one of those like wines that just appeal to so many people, and it has a lot of tannin.
But it's like a tier 2 wine. Like, why is it not?
So the king of Syrah is the Rhone region.
Okay.
Rhone blends. The king, the emperor is Hermitage.
Yeah.
Hermitage. I don't know how you say it.
Don't pronounce that.
So the and Côte-Rôtie and those areas, like you gotta get a red wine from there. It's like a lot of Syrah. But if you have a Rhone blend, if you get a Rhone wine, it's going to be primarily a blend of Syrah, Grenache, and Mourvedre, and sometimes even a little bit of Viognier, which is a white wine. But they blend that in, and you get this kind of like fruity floral lift, and which I kind of like, and which I didn't put any Viognier in this, but maybe in the future I will because we have access to it. So anyway, so the history of Syrah in California is kind of interesting. Syrah is like this grape that's grown all over the world. There's like, I told you about Petite Sirah had like less than 15,000 acres. Around the world, there is I read today, 460,000 acres of Syrah. So It's planted all over the place. And it's also known, of course, as Shiraz in Australia and New Zealand, primarily Australia. And there are some amazing Shiraz wines out of Australia.
I bet a lot of people didn't know that Shiraz and Syrah are the same wine.
Yeah, same wine. And they...
Like, would a California producer ever put Shiraz on the label?
Some have, because Shiraz was, like, really popular, and they're trying to distinguish, the different styles.
Okay.
So if you had a really jammy, like super over-the-top jammy Syrah, you might put Shiraz on the label and maybe sweeten it up. But in my opinion, that's like overgeneralizing your wine because I've traveled through Australia and in the Barossa Valley and these regions in Australia are making such beautiful Shiraz that is so balanced and not just over-the-top jammy. And I think a lot of people said, I can make Yellowtail Shiraz. And so they said, I'm going to make it like Yellowtail, and we're going to call it Shiraz instead of Syrah. So anyway, no offense to Yellowtail. I used to sell a lot of it when I lived in Atlanta, Georgia. I sold Yellowtail and I paid the bill.
I'm seeing a lot of positive feedback on the Syrah, David. Great work. I think this is a great wine.
So this is a 2016. It was in barrel. It was in barrel a little longer than the Petite Sirah. It was, and it's French oak. As was the Petite Sirah was as well. But you can kind of get a little. there's a lot of fruit there, but it's well rounded. There's more acid. So that's why I put this at the end of the flight. Is it does have a good amount of tannin, not quite as much tannin as that Petite Sirah does, but the acidity level is higher, and I like to end on a high note.
Oh, there we go.
So on the acid, that really helps round out the wine more as well. The acidity on this, the acid pH is 3.43. So if you remember, the Petite Sirah was 3.69. So we're coming down quite a bit in pH levels. It's a logarithmic scale. So 0.26 is a lot. TA is 6.2. So pH, the lower you go, the higher acid. And TA, titratable acidity, the higher you go, the higher the acid. So 6.2 versus Petite Sirah is 5.5.
So you've been just throwing all kinds of great info. Hasn't he done an amazing job? I mean, this is right up there with.
Sorry if it's a little too much of the.
What was it?
The numbers.
Was it the reclamation flight where you just threw all that? Yeah, the history. I mean, this is like you're doing a great job today.
Thanks.
Well done. I want to move on to our next segment, our final, extra segment that really.
Oh man, you're pushing me too much. We
pushing-
got to
dude.
talk about the wine. We haven't even talked about the tasting.
Okay,
notes.
I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes.
All right.
So
So
a minute.
you get
and a
some
half.
tannin in this.
Get
but
going.
You also get a lot more of that vanilla. It's picking up a lot more of that oak character. That you get that vanilla. Slight more perfume. Both of these wines, the Petite Sirah and the Syrah, because of that tannin level, you want to pair. If you're going to go cheese-wise, you want to pair with a soft, fatty cheese that can really subdue that tannin or balance that tannin out. And then, I wrote down pairing notes for food for the Petite Sirah. Go for that those barbecue and Syrah barbecue, and you know what? It's Bonfire Flight. Why not go for a s'more?
Yes.
S'more.
Oh my gosh. With
Do
the
that.
caramelized
Caramelized
the
sugar.
marshmallow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
And the chocolate and the graham cracker.
That's what I'm doing
I
tonight.
get to that. So anyway, that's my kind of overall assessment on the Syrah.
Shout out to John Murphy over in Oakland.
Oh heck yeah,
John Murphy, fellow Eagle Scout. If you
Yes.
saw my video earlier that we posted. a couple
Look
days
for that
ago.
video. He
That was
did such a good job.
Keep it coming, dude.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call that
you did
the
a good job.
Ogilvie fire method. I'm gonna name it after myself.
Even after you called it the Eagle Scout method.
Did I call it the Eagle Scout
I don't
method?
know.
No,
It was really good video.
Yeah, it was interesting. How to make a fire. I don't
Yeah.
know. We've all been there. Anyway, John Murphy, cheers to you. This was his first wine from Silt Wine Company. Was
The
the
Syrah. Wow.
The Syrah. So, new convert. Hope you enjoy your wines. He says it's still his top favorite wine. So,
And these wines, the Syrah and the Petite Sirah, I mean, they can age.
yes.
They can age
Oh my
10
gosh.
years. I mean,
That
the
Petite
amount of
Sirah,
tannin
for real,
is on
can
there,
age,
yeah.
man. That sucker has some tannin.
Yeah.
I want to move on to a segment. I'm still going to let you talk a lot.
Oh,
Because it's time for one of these really cool, extremely informative segments that lets David go crazy wild on information and everything that's up in this head underneath that beautiful hat. It's time for Data by David.
Data by David. All right. Wine Institute. Wine Institute is a great source,
organization.
great organization, great source of information for the industry, and I will throw a shout out to Wine Institute. Thank you for moving to Sacramento from San Francisco.
Cheers.
You moved.
Coming out to Clarksburg anytime.
Coming out to Clarksburg anytime.
You have some friends out here.
They're moving their headquarters from San Francisco to Sacramento. I said it, people. Sacramento, the place to be. Anyway, so they came out with some statistics that I just found very interesting. It just blew my mind. And so I thought I'd share them. I thought, hey, this is a good segment for Data by David. So in the United States, there are 10,510 wineries. This is data.
10,510.
I believe
wineries.
this is data from 2018. So there might
So
be
just over 10,000 wineries.
Yeah. Or 10, yeah. Anyway, so when you look at how many cases are produced by each winery, 97% of those wineries are producing less than 50,000 cases.
Gosh, 50,000 cases is a lot of cases.
It's a lot of cases, but it's not a lot of cases. So when you think of the bigger wineries, they're producing well over 2-3 million. So
holy cow.
So but that 3%, when you look at volume of wines, and probably 80 to 90% of what you see on the grocery store shelves are produced by the larger wineries, and there's some great wines there. Don't get me wrong, but 97% are producing under 50,000 cases, and when you look at and out of the whole total number of wineries, 61% of those wineries who have registered as I'm a business, I'm a winery in the United States, 61% are making less than 1,000 cases. We are making, depending, maybe this year a little less because of COVID-19, we're making somewhere around 1,500 to 2,000 cases. So we're in this other section that there's 26% of wineries are making 1,000 to 5,000 cases. My whole point in bringing this up is that the wine industry that you know and love, the wine industry, if you're buying from our tasting room, from other tasting rooms online, you're buying from a small business, often a small family business. I'm not crying,
You're crying, dude. I'm not crying, you're crying.
And so it is we appreciate it so much, and everyone does. Cheers. Appreciates you supporting those small businesses.
Yes.
And we're out there trying to get our help that we can from small business loans and whatnot. But everything you guys do, we really appreciate. So thank you for supporting a small business, your local small business, and maybe not so local. Thank you, Texas and North Carolina and Vermont last week.
Yeah.
So cheers.
Cheers, man.
Was that good
great.
data by David?
That was great data.
All right.
Best data by David.
I may have gone a little too far into the percentage.
It's okay. So Instagram's going to cut off here in about 8 minutes, but we're all right. Hey, most of our activity is actually happening on the Facebook side of things, but thank you for that data, David. That was actually really great. Hey, we're gonna kind of start wrapping things up before we get to our final toast. That's always kind of fun here. Let's review. We've done our Bonfire Flight here. We've gone through 3 fantastic reds. David, again, great job. I mean, this Syrah is a great one to end on too. We'll finish that bottle as we clean up.
Yeah.
And thank you, Shannon, for joining us as well and doing some awesome, an awesome segment. And I got to give away an overnight at one of the coolest hotels. I know Shannon and I have done an overnight at the Sawyer Hotel. Just kind of one of those
nice
staycations.
place.
It's
a lot to do around
spot.
there too.
A lot of great restaurants and everything. And so, cheers to a 4th anniversary, Ben and Dana again. And then just coming up, we've got our picnic flight. I'm gonna move quickly, but stay tuned on stuff on our social media channels. But picnic flight is coming up. We're really excited about it, and we're gonna have some fun next week with our picnic flight, and then we've got our Mother's Day flight. But here's the deal. All you moms out there, it's your turn to choose. We're going to be putting a poll together on our Facebook page, and we want you to choose your favorite wines. We're going to have a poll for wine number 1, another poll for wine number 2, and another poll for wine number 3. And you're going to have 4 options on each poll. Choose the wines that you love and that you want to have as a part of that flight. And David's going to be able to go deep on all that. Got a great question from Christy Jordan, always making some great comments and questions, and really she teases us more than anything.
Yeah, thanks, Christy. I really appreciate it.
And she says, next week, can you teach us a bit about aging wine? I thought that was actually a good question. So don't hold our feet to the fire, but we'll see. The picnic flight probably isn't the flight for aging wine.
There's a great wine there. The Pinot Noir is a great wine to talk about aging.
That's true, and you know we got the Pinot Noir and the Gewürztraminer and the Pinot Gris, and the Pinot Noir we've done before if you were at the Burgundy Flight, but this time we're going to ask you to chill it down because it's a different experience when you chill the Pinot Noir. I did it yesterday.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it with a friend named Chris. Chilled Pinot Noir, it was great. Anyway, so stay tuned on that. As always, buy now, please. It helps us out when you start purchasing early. Purchase the picnic flight, and we'd love to get that to you as soon as possible. As always, 1 cent shipping to anywhere in the U.S. We bundle it, so there's a little bit of discount there in the bundle, and then club members get an additional 20 to 30% discount depending on the level. And I got to give a shout out. We've got a couple new club members this week. We've had some club members joining over the weeks here. Shout out to Sarah Brown. Cheers. Thank you very much for joining the team here. And to Catherine, is it Cheney? Catherine Cheney. Thank you very much for joining our team and participating in the club. We are going to be posting this video on our website. And, of course, it's going to be on our Facebook page. But we're also, the way we post our website, we're posting to YouTube. We're finally starting a YouTube channel. Can you do me a favor? When we finish here, can you go to YouTube and subscribe? It actually makes it a lot easier for us to do some cool stuff with YouTube when we reach 100 followers on subscriptions on YouTube. So if you can do me a favor, just subscribe to YouTube. Maybe share the channel on YouTube if you're doing that. Share the channel on Facebook and all that. That helps us out. And then, of course, you can purchase the next flight. You can also purchase the past flights we've done. I said earlier, this is the 6th flight we've done, I think. And we've got all of them on our website. So you can go back, purchase the flight, and then enjoy the video. We post the video right on the page that the flight is, the page on our website that has the flight. And you can enjoy it. I did it with Shannon a couple nights ago. We watched 2 flights. We drank too much wine, but or can you do that? No, of course not. We had a great time.
Depends on what you're doing the next morning.
Right? So it's a fun time. We have a great show. It's been really fun, and thank you guys for joining us. It's now time for the final toast, and I pass it on to you first.
I want to give a shout out and a toast to Patrick Mulvaney and Family Meal. Patrick Mulvaney and a number of other chefs in Sacramento have worked out this whole group where they're providing meals for other employees of theirs that have lost their jobs, and they're also providing meals for elderly people, and they're going to different places and delivering those meals. So, I mean, they're doing such great work, and I was on a conference call today where we talked about it, and we talked about how to get more government funding, and that was through the Sacramento Metro Chamber, so cheers to the Chamber as well. So thank you to those guys. I give a toast to Family Meal.
Family Meal. Mulvaney. I can't toast without drinking. Mm-hmm. I'm getting low. Hey, so my toast is to all the small businesses. I am very, very pro small business. One of my passions, especially entrepreneurs, people that have started their own business, just like us here at Silt Wine Company. You guys are taking it on the chin right now, and I hope you got some support through the government, and I hope you're getting support through your patrons in, similar to Patrick Mulvaney, getting, or any other restaurant, doing the curbside, man, whatever we can do to support our fellow small businesses, let's do that. I think that's the right thing to do right now. Everybody's struggling through this season right now, but I think, from my experience, the small business owners, they're taking it on the chin, but they're staying positive. Let's stay positive together, and let's get through this, and I see just a lot of fun in our future, and I'm looking forward to it. So cheers to you small businesses sticking with it. So let's keep it going, all right? And with that, cheers, little drink. And with that, I'd like to say thank you for sharing this video. You can do it right now and share that you've enjoyed this video. You had a great time. Share it right now. We want to get that viewership up. And when you share you care. When you share, you participate in our mission to help people enjoy Clarksburg as much as we do. Cheers.
Cheers.